Hey guys, welcome back to the new video. So today we'll solve average selling price problem number 1251. Let's look at the first table we have given over here. So it's the price table basically. So it consists of following columns: product ID, start date, end date, and the corresponding price. Means a given product, start date and end date. What is the price of the particular product at that particular range of time frame? Okay. Similarly, if you see, okay, also there will be no for each product there will be no two overlapping periods. Means that This means that there will be no two intersecting periods basically for the same product ID. Okay. So if it like the period is given, the one row consists the period of March to February to March basically. So it will be unique basically. So same product ID within that time frame will not be shown as a row basically. That's it. So if you consider this unit sold table, here you have the product ID, purchase date, and units. This table may contain duplicate rows. Each row of this table indicates date, units, and the product ID of the sold product. What we have to write is that we have to write a solution basically to find the average selling price for each product. Average underscore price should be rounded to two decimal places. Okay, so let me give you an understanding this problem with this example. So if you consider this price table, basically we have two product with the product ID one and two, and here February month and March month time frame price is given basically. So for the product ID one, the February month uh, price is 5 and March month price is 20 basically. Similarly for second also second product ID we have given the corresponding price as 1530. And in a unit sold table in the particular month, like in the February month or in the March month, how many units of product are sold. So if the for the in this example the product ID one in the Feb month the unit sold is 100. Similarly in the March month the unit sold is 15 basically. So how we can find out the average selling price? So to get the average selling price, basically, what we will do is that we will use the formula as total price of the product divided by number of products it is sold. Okay. So let's take the example of product with a product ID one basically. Here you can see that. Okay. Here you can see that basically within this time frame, Feb, we will multiply this 5 with this 100 because five product 5 was the price of that particular product in this particular Feb month basically, and 100 units of product are sold. Okay, so 100 into 5, we'll add it with the March month product sold, like 15 into 20 basically. That will be a total price of the product, and we will divide it how much units are sold. So in Feb and the March, basically the unit sold is 100 plus 15, that is 115 basically. So we'll divide this value with 115, we will get the 6.96 as the average price. Similarly, you can do it for a second product also. So how we will write the query? Okay. So first of all, we'll select. So we need to select. We need to go to product ID. So product underscore ID. Okay. And also need to give the average price that will be rounded to two decimal. So this part, let me let me do this part later on. First, let me join this table. Average price. Okay. So this one is average price. From which table? From the prices table. Okay. That's P. The left join because we want every record from the prices table. So we'll left join that with unit sold. S P dot product ID matching columns equals to S dot product ID. And we'll group the record by the product ID because we want this to apply to every product. So it's P dot product ID. Okay. So inside this calculation of average price, first we need to take into consideration this part, like total price of the product. How we can calculate total price of the product? Okay, so for total price of the product, we just need to multiply this price with the corresponding units in that particular month. So we need to sum that up basically. So how we'll do? We'll use a sum. Okay, and we use a case. In the case, basically, what we will do is we'll check when your particular purchase date is between your product start date, prices table start date, and prices table end date. Then what we need to find out, we need to get this units as dot units basically into the prices table dot price. Okay, else we will just return the zero. Okay, so this is the first part of getting the total price. Then we need to divide it by the total number of products sold. How we can calculate total number of products sold? We also use a case statement over here. Okay, here what we'll do, we'll check when we need to sum up all the values of the units sold. We'll sum up basically. Again, inside this sum, we will use a case basically your when you need to go to same like when your s dot purchase is between this part. Okay, then we need that s dot units with zero. We'll end it out. This is first we need to check it for now division by zero. Okay, it's for it will return another part. So it's just done this part. Okay, so yeah, so let me explain you. So for this average price, we are rounding out this whole value, anything that comes up basically to the two decimal place by using the round function. Inside that, basically for the first part, like for getting the total price of the product, basically what we are doing over here, we are summing up basically. We are summing up because we need to sum up this. See, what we are doing over here, we are summing up. We need to sum up basically for which values we need to sum up. We need to sum up the values of the price with the particular units basically. So we use a case statement over here basically when that particular purchase date. Let's take the example of this product with product ID one. And the particular purchase date basically is between the start and end date, okay, of the prices table. Then we just need to get the units basically and multiply it with the corresponding price. Okay, okay, and that will happen for each product ID. Okay, so it will happen for month number Feb month and then for the March month, and it will sum up the values. Elsewise, we just need to return the zero. Maybe ending over. Then it is dividing this with the this part. So here what we are doing is that the first line basically when this sum of this line check for the null division this line is used basically to check if there is a division by zero error or not basically. Okay, so what happened is that basically suppose you have a product number 3 basically over here basically which do not have any product sold in the unit sold table basically means its units sold basically of that particular product is zero. Then at that time basically if you are using this simply this condition basically we'll get a zero division by zero error. So we are checking if that particular sum of that particular units basically of that particular product ID is zero basically is zero basically then we are just setting it as one basically. That's it. Elsewise we are just returning the sum of that particular unit basically. Hence, if that particular, for each product ID, when the purchase date is between the start and end date, basically, we just sum up the units, basically. Here, for the product ID, if you consider for the example number one, that's product ID. number one basically, you'll see that 100 will get added with 115, we'll get 115 basically. So that we will divide it by 115 and we just round it out to two decimal point as average price. From which table we are doing? For prices table P, left joining it with the unit sold table on the common column, that is product ID, and we are grouping it by the product ID. So let me run this query. Okay, so I think I missed comma over here. Yeah, so our test query got accepted basically. Desired output matches with the corresponding expected output. That's it. So this is how we tackle this particular problem. Basically, we need to calculate of the product ID of the of for each, we need to get the product ID basically for each product we are doing this thing. Okay, then we are using the round function basically to round off this particular values basically to do decimal basically inside that for total price of the product we are just using a sum basically. Okay, here what we are doing is that we are checking a case, we are using a case statement over here. We are checking if that particular purchase date is between the start date and end date. We are just summing the units and the particular price of that corresponding month basically. Ah, yeah, that's it. And then we are dividing it by the particular number of units sold basically. So here also we are checking if the unit sold is zero basically. If you this sum of this whole thing is equals to zero, then we are just setting it one basically because we don't want to run into a division by zero error. Elsewise, we are just using this particular statement that we are setting up over here. Like when the purchase date is between the start date and end date, then just give you the units, number of units, basically, and just sum it out. When we are dividing, we get the average price. So that's it. Thank you.